Hello!
And welcome to Queer Factor.
This is your Tuesday Twinterlude, Grace and Ellen.
And this week we will be talking about
Who is your ideal girl?
how do you approach a girl,
The girl. And what is a good idea for a first date, in our opinions.
and how do you work with the first move or something like that. Anyway,
We'll get into it right now.
I generally tend to go for people with darker hair or red hair, not carrot red hair, but the kind of deep red hair.
Deep.
But I think more so, because I can be attracted to blonde haired people too, easily.
Natural
it's more
blonde
that
especially.
I like people who don't have hair that's really looks like it's really high maintenance. And I don't really go for the, the black hair with the dark, with the fluoro colours and the kind of emo crazy hair look. Don't really go for that.
Fringes, really hot, side fringe, full fringe. Fringes in general,
Yeah,
I think, are
yeah.
super cute.
Yeah, very.
And having bangs, we have different terms for bangs. I think you call this bangs, we call this bangs. Bangs on the sides,
Layers,
really cute too.
layers hot.
I'm not trying to describe myself, I'm just saying. And layers are really cute.
Yeah.
I think lengthwise, I like hair that's long-ish, from about mine to longer.
Yeah.
I think part of that is because I kind of go for more femme looks, and I think part of that is part of my eternal want to bring out my masculine side within a relationship. So I guess ideally I have kind of an extroverted femme, or someone who's a little femmier than me, or at least so I can be the strong silent one at times, because I think there's a part of me, and I'm realising this more, that needs to be able to do that for people. Not all the time, but sometimes.
I think I'm interesting because I think I'm more attracted to femme as well, but I'm not attracted to what the typical feminine look represents for me, having done gender studies. Like, so if there's someone who looks feminine but who's actually a really powerful person as well, I find that really attractive, basically.
Makeup wise, we want to be able to see your actual skin. That's probably
yeah. Obviously, eyeshadow and eyeliner and stuff can look really cute.
Yeah, and a lot of people wear that. That's fine. And don't let people pay you out for wearing makeup.
Yeah,
just because you're gay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, that's a stereotype that we don't need to have around.
It's stupid,
anymore. Leave it there. Leave it. Style-wise, so I kind of go for like skater, emo, geek, like that. Vests, shirts with collars, scarves. Sorry, I'm gonna keep going. Hats, glasses can be cute.
Accessories.
Accessories.
A good summarising word. I like someone who has personal style, that doesn't necessarily look like it fits into any, cliche subcategory.
Yep, I agree.
That's pretty much what I'm attracted to. I think half the reason I'm attracted to feminine, more feminine looking women is because when I know that someone's a lesbian, I get turned off by people who fit conventions a bit. I like people who kind of stand out.
We touched on this last
Everyone
time.
tries to stand out a bit, in whatever, but yeah, it really depends on the context.
Body shape, Carmen from the L Word. So she's like pretty curvaceous, but fit curvaceous. I'm attracted to being fit, I think.
A good way to summarise it is someone who you can really hug. I like someone who you can hug well, but I also like someone who is up, who's an adventurous person. Like, sometimes I just feel like, let's go camp, And if that happened, I'd want someone who'd be willing to do that with me. Or if I wanted to go bike riding, I want someone who'd be able
to do that.
Able to do that with me. So it's more about being healthy.
And skinny people can hug too. Don't take that.
Yeah.
How to approach a girl?
Now, we have to both confess, we're not really people who go fishing for numbers.
No, we don't. It's not our style. And I think part of that is just knowing... Sorry, this is my turn to talk, that's why I cut you off.
That's alright. You can keep going.
Good. Part of that is knowing the kind of people we are and the values we have, and especially being Christian and stuff. And there's a lot of perceptions that come with that. And the whole, no sex before marriage thing, which we've talked about before, stuff like that people, a lot of people, I think it would benefit them to know that before getting into, a dating frame of mind or situation. And you got to be careful about that. So we prefer to get to know people first a few times, do you want to hang out? And then say, hey, I kind of know you now, you seem to like me, and we wait for that reciprocal
I think,
and then we'll say, do you want to go on a date?
Okay, something else that is really useful when talking to someone, which can play beyond the basic levels of boring small talk, but not dig into really deep, dangerous things, is when asking people why they do things, or trying to get within someone's headspace and identify with their situation. For example, if someone said, you know, I'm the middle child of 10. You know, you could go, oh, wow, there's a lot of people in your family. But you could also ask, you know, wow, it must be odd having so many people who, you know, whose standards you have to live up to, but also looking after people younger than you. And do you ever feel like, you know, you're overlooked as part of the family? And then they can go, oh, and they can discard it, or they can identify with it.
But asking questions in general, even if you don't want to ask those kind of deep probing kind of questions, it at least shows that you have a real interest in people and you're not just going to rattle on about yourself for ages. And being able to listen is something that's really valued. And I think when we ask questions and listen to people's responses, we've always had a good response to that. I think people respond well. So do that. Ask questions. You'll do it now. Also, when talking to people, try to use their names and remember their names. I'm not good at this personally, so
I'm so crap at it.
Yeah, we kind of suck at it, but we're trying. We really are. But it really makes a difference.
One thing that Diva, the magazine, recommends, I read this article, was, you know, just touching someone on the arm or something while you're talking. It's like breaking the contact, physical stuff. And Ellen can keep talking now.
And also, someone commented Leah's video yesterday, wondering if one of the questions was about how to move from talking to a girl to making out with her. And so I'm just going to go from what I've heard works. And that, I think, a good way to break the physical contact void is to start with a hug. Because that's just a general friend thing that can be interpreted either way. But it's a good way to just get close to someone to begin with. And if you're hugging for a while, you know, suss out whether they want to keep hugging or whether they're pulling away. You know, if they had enough, then leave it. Otherwise, you know, you might hug a bit tighter, or you might run your hands up and down their back, or you might nuzzle their neck, or you might kiss their neck. And next thing you know, depending on their response, you could be making out. So, does that make sense?
Yeah,
work your way up to it, but start with a hug, because that's pretty neutral. So that's probably a good way to start. So we're just going to quickly say things that we think would be good ideas for a first date. I'm into the cliche of movies sometimes. That there can be a bit of a thing like, you know, what are we supposed to do in this situation? Because you know how some movie situations, it's like you're just going to sit up the back and make out.
Is it a cliche? What do I do with it?
But I think if you choose the right film, you can either laugh together, or you can cry together, or you can be scared together. But that kind of ability to meet each other emotionally opens up kind of vulnerability, and you can connect through that.
Yeah.
And especially if it's a deep film, which is what I like, then you can just chat about the themes afterwards, which is awesome.
Yeah. On the other hand, if it's crap, you know, at least you can both talk about that.
Bitch about it for ages.
And
So
then maybe,
cool.
you know, that movie was really crap. Maybe you should pick one next time.
Yeah. So what else did you suggest?
I was going to say, so it's good to follow a movie with tea, because you want to get to know someone on a date as well. And if you're talking throughout a movie, you're going to wreck it for other people, basically. Another thing I was going to say, I would be very mindful about doing something competitive, like bowling, because some people are sore losers, and it's hard to balance that with liking someone.
Yeah.
And
So,
being
in other words, you kick
graceful,
my ass,
but
now I'm not sure I want to make out with you, kind of thing.
something I would think would be a really good idea is, for example, just going to the markets on a Sunday, wandering around. I like this, you know, this reminds me of this thing I own, and you're being constantly stimulated. It's not like a situation where we're sitting, eating, watching each other talk, and there's nothing to distract us.
Yeah. Also, just randomly, the other day on the bus, we saw a guy who looked pretty mature. He looked pretty gay, I guess, stereotypically. But he kind of was looking at us a lot, glancing at us a lot, and we actually wondered if he's someone who's seen this channel, because it was too many looks for the usual, are those guys twins, or they're really cute, or, you know, not trying to sound up myself. So, if you watch this channel,
We want to know.
talk to us next time you see us.
And if you don't approach us,
Then we'll approach
we're gonna
you.
ask you. And that could be very embarrassing, so...
So we'll tell you queer Factorians how that goes.
Guys, I haven't forgot about the Mercy Ministries boycott stuff. Just check in the sidebar notes for that.
And I'm sorry if I looked like I was on crack for this entire video. Bye! See you next week! Tune in tomorrow for Martine.